guys doing today? I hope you guys are having a great cuddly day. I know here in the East Coast we've had, I think, almost 30 inches of snow or so. So we've been snowed in, we've been all cuddly at home with family, cooking dinners, and definitely having fun in the snow. I just want to make this video because I know when you're home, you have a lot of time in your hands, and definitely gives you time to just ponder and just think about, family time, and just really read the word and really invest time on things that you usually wouldn't on a daily basis. Especially now that for me, school hasn't started. This is perfect timing. And I've just been, obviously social media, everyone's posting stuff, everyone's, just keeping themselves entertained clearly because no one can really drive out and do anything. I don't know about you guys, but I know with me, the Lord talks to me even in simple, small things. And today I wanted to talk to you guys about his return. I know this is a very controversial topic because a lot of people don't believe in this. A lot of people think that I'm crazy. A lot of people, categorize us as Christians as being these fanatics waiting for this crazy occurrence to happen, but it's never happened in thousands of years. But I wanted to just go into a couple Bible verses with you guys, and definitely show you guys with the Bible, as well as just things that I know that we all see day to day that will support and just show you guys a different perspective. If you've never heard about this, or if you have heard about this, if you've grown up in a Christian home, or you've grown with this belief, or your faith, it will definitely reassure, and it will definitely just give you a little more assurance. I like to get nice and cozy when I'm in the mood of studying the Bible, making a video, or just pondering about just life. I like to really sit cuddly and cozy. That's what you guys see me here on my little couch, my little chair. So we're going to start first by reading Matthew 24. So if you guys want to go ahead and read here, or if you guys have your own Bible and you guys want to follow, highlight, I definitely recommend you guys. So we're going to go to chapter 24, and we're going to go to verse 4. And it says, Jesus answered. Obviously, so the disciples had came out, and they were talking to Jesus, and they basically asked him, when will this happen? When will it be the sign that you're coming back? When will be the end of the age? So he responded, watch out that no one deceives you, for many will come in my name claiming I am the Messiah, and will deceive many. You will hear of wars and rumors of wars, but see to it that you are not alarmed. Such things must happen. But at the end is still yet to come. Nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines and earthquakes in various places. All these are the beginning of birth pains. Number 9. Then you will be handed over to the persecuted and put to death, and you will be hated by all nations because of me. At that time, many will turn away from the faith and will betray and hate each other. And many false prophets will appear and deceive many people. Because of the increase of wickedness, the love of most will grow cold. But the one who stands firm to the end will be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in the whole world as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come. All right, so let's pause there. You're probably like, what has she read? That was a lot of Bible verses, a lot of things to take in at once. So let's all kind of break it down a bit, okay? So we hear from wars, we hear about being deceived by many, we hear about just the love of many turning cold. So let's just start with that, okay? Let's not, sometimes a lot of people want to take the Bible and make it very complicated, make it very, mysterious. But a lot of things are very straightforward. A lot of things are very obvious to understand. And a lot of things, we see every day. A lot of people just don't read the Bible and don't get informed of what it says. But once you read it, it kind of confronts you, and you kind of realize that we are in this world and we are exposed to these things. So now it talks about the love of many becoming cold. So, don't you guys see that every day? I see it all the time where you will see someone in need and then a person just walking right past. Or, nowadays there's the whole trend of, oh, I do me, I don't trust nobody, this and that. And that's kind of like the cool thing. That's kind of like what's in, to be this harsh person, to be cold-hearted, not loving, to not want to settle down, to not care about commitment, to not care about marriage. So we see all these things around us every day, and can we talk about the war in the Middle East? Can we talk about ISIS? Can we talk about all the death and the gruesome violence that we are seeing around the world? And yes, I agree with you guys. A lot of you guys are probably thinking, well, we've always seen war. What do you talk about World War I, World War II, when we talk about slavery, when we talk about even just the racism even now? We've seen it throughout history all year round. But the difference is now it's so much more saturated. We are so informed of the different violence and the different things that are just occurring in the world. And not just that, many of the things are actually being supported. There are being laws being passed that go against what the Bible says. So now we'll see a little more of acceptance towards these things. We see a little more exposure. So it's just all these crazy things happening where we realize that even though this was said thousands of years ago by Jesus as he walked on earth, as his disciples and those that followed him asked him, like, what can we look out for? Like, what can we kind of look for to know that you are coming? And I don't want to fall into the whole can I say trend, into that whole pattern of people on YouTube or even like preachers or just in general people at churches scaring people like, look, there's this war, he's coming now, sell all your belongings. People fall into this religion and false doctrine, and people don't really seek for themselves and realize that it's beyond just that. I mean, it's just the fact that there's so many other things happening that we are not aware of because we don't inform ourselves, because we don't seek the Bible as guidance. And many people say that there is no guidance to life, and at a certain point I understand that because I mean, I have a life. I'm living. I realize that you live day to day and things come and go and you don't really have control over that. But we do have a guidance. We do have a manual, which is the Bible, which helps us get through those, through those. So the Bible also talks about there being nations against nations and kingdoms against kingdoms and famines and earthquakes and just all these disastrous things. Now, I know even now it's been more common than before where we're seeing all these natural disasters. I mean, even now people might say, okay, well, snow is just snow, but we're noticing all these things happening where you have earthquakes, where you have tsunamis. I mean, where you have mass of people dying over these natural disasters, where you're having one country come against another country and presidents meeting up to try to amend things, to try to make things better for the cause of the nation. I mean, we're seeing all these things that the Bible is speaking to us about, and we are just not aware. It also talks about a lot of people coming in to deceive us and claim to be something that they're not. I mean, we see that every day. It's so sad. You guys have no idea how much my heart hurts when I see stuff like that. For example, I don't know if you guys saw it. I think it was like 2 or some years ago of this guy calling himself the savior of this world, and literally made hundreds of people sell their homes, get rid of all their belongings. People were literally in the street with nothing left because they said Jesus was coming, that he was the Jesus and that he was going to save them and the world was going to end. No one knows the time, the place, the day, the date that Jesus will come. I mean, just think about this. If I was to tell you tomorrow is the last day of your life, and if depending on what you do and what you do at this time will depend, will you be saved or not? What are you going to do? I mean, what would be the first thing you do? First of all, you'll get right with your loved ones. You'll make sure you say goodbye. You make sure you do the last things that you want to do. You make sure you get right with God so that when the time and the day comes tomorrow, you're ready to go. So that wouldn't be something genuine. It's like it's not like he wants us to not be saved or catch us at the wrong time. I mean, he understands we are imperfect beings. We are sinners. So we are prone to just making mistakes. But he does it in a way so that you live by faith, so that you live a real relationship with him. So it's not, a habit. So it's not a religion where it's Easter, let me go to church, or it's Christmas, let me go to church this Sunday, or it's Mother's Day, let me do this for my mom and go to church. I mean, he wants us to really live a God-abiding life. And not because he wants us to be little robots serving him, but it's because in the long run, we see the benefits in our life. This is the same thing with the Bible. The Bible goes through these verses telling us and warning us of things that are going to occur before the end of times and what we need to do to get prepared for these things. So why are we not doing that? Why is the church not getting ready? Why are we not telling others about Jesus coming soon? Why are we too afraid of being called crazy? Why are we so afraid of people not believing us? There's also a verse that I really want to share with you guys, just a couple verses. I don't know if you guys have heard about the story of Noah's Ark. I don't know if you guys have heard about that or even when you were little, or even when you go out and you see little baby stuff, you see little animals, and it says Noah's Ark. Um, there's a Bible verse here. So if you guys want to follow me, or you guys can just read along here in Luke 17:26 and to through the 30th. But I'm just going to read 26. It says, just as it was in the days of Noah, so also it will be in the days of the Son of Man. People were eating, drinking, marrying, and being given in marriage up to the day Noah entered the ark. Then all the flood came and destroyed them all. It will be just like this on the day the Son of Man is revealed. So what does this Bible verse mean? So it's saying people are going to be, basically doing their thing, marrying, eating, living their life. It's going to be just a regular day. It's not going to work that way. It's going to be just a regular day where everyone's doing their thing. It's the same time, the same thing that happened with Noah. Noah, I don't know if you guys have heard, but if you guys are interested, I will definitely leave the details below of the story of Noah in the Bible, so you guys can read in depth of what it really happened, what if you never have read it. So basically, Noah is this man of God. God spoke to him and gave him detailed measurements of the ark that he needed to build, because he said, there's so much wickedness, there's so much evil, like I need to get rid of it, and I need you to build this ark and save those that listen, and bring animals and da-da-da-da. I won't tell you the whole detailed story, but to recap the whole thing, in that day, I don't know if you guys knew that, but there was no such thing as rain. Okay, so there was this vapor that would come up from the earth. That's how it would moisture, I guess, the plants and just everything in general, because there was no such thing as rain. So when Noah went around telling people, we need to get ready, there's rain, there's a storm coming. Jesus has spoke to me. God has spoke to me. I need to build this ark so that you can be saved. And people weren't listening. People were calling him crazy. People were doing their thing. People were getting married. People were like, this man is psycho. Rain from where? Like, we've never seen rain. Like, what is he talking about? You know what I mean? Typical, like, you're crazy, you're psycho. God did not tell you anything. So this man took years, and I don't mean days, I mean years, to build this ark. He built this ark. He told people about it. People never believed him. The flood came and everyone died. His whole family was saved. Animals were saved. And it was basically like a clean slate. Okay? So that's the same thing that is happening now. That's why it talks about it being like the days of Noah's Ark. Because nowadays you're telling people about Jesus. You're telling people that there's someone that loves them. That you're telling them about salvation. And people are just like, I'm good. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I don't need that. Like, I'm fine. Or they're like, she's a fanatic, she's crazy. I've gotten a lot of that before, where people are like, she's such a fanatic, she's so like obsessed, or Jesus freak, or it's not just always about Jesus. It is about Jesus, because he is the reason why I'm here. And that's why I don't get embarrassed, I don't get shy, I don't get, I don't feel bad for talking about God, because in my life, if I was to sit here, I don't know if you guys want a video like that, because it would be like 3 hours long, like no joke. I would have to find some way to get a video that long on here. If I was to tell you guys my whole life story, and I'm not gonna sit here and say like I'm suffered or I've been through harsh things, but I have been through tough things in my life, and I can honestly say if it wasn't for me knowing who God is in my life and where I stand with him, I wouldn't be where I am today. And that's the reason why I even made this channel, going on a little tangent. I didn't make your typical hair, nails, beauty, all that, outfit of the day type stuff, because at the end of the day, I realized that there are more important things to promote and to put out there. Not bashing anyone that has those type of videos, because I love them. I watch them myself. But I figured there was a time where I needed to do something to be very vocal about the things that God can do in your life, because he's done them in mine. So going back to the topic that we were talking about Jesus coming soon, I want you guys to understand that you being saved doesn't just mean you going to Sundays every day. It doesn't just mean you having this fear, like, Jesus is coming, I'm not going to be saved. What's going to happen if I'm not saved? Like, it's not living in this fear. It's living in faith. It's living in this assurance that you are going to be saved. But there's things you need to do. There are people you need to let go of. There are habits you need to let go of. There are lifestyles you need to get rid of. There are things that you need to remove from your life and separate from your life, so that you live a God-abiding life. And I know it's not easy. I mean, we live in such a tough world where we're saturated with so many things, where we're exposed, and I can't emphasize that enough. Who are you telling? Like, I know how tough it is to kind of leave who you want to be for something that you're not really sure about. But I promise you, at the end of the day, it is worth it. It is worth it because everything in this world is temporary. You can lose your health like this. You can lose money like this. You know, you can lose everything. Everything you see here can be lost. But what's inside, as cliche and corny as that sounds, is what matters. You know what I mean? And we had someone who came and died for us, and someone who's offering us salvation and is telling us, look, get in that ark. You know, get in that ark. And that ark represents salvation. That ark represents that safe place that is going to save us from what is coming to this world. And it's not that Jesus or God doesn't love us, it's that we don't love him. You know, we have to understand there's a Bible verse that says that he loved us first. He died for us. He created you with a purpose, and the purpose is not for you to get lost. His purpose is for you to be saved, for you to love him, for you to enjoy a life filled with blessings and filled with faith and glorious things that he can do in your life. I just want to tell you overall, just summing up this video, that Jesus is coming soon, and there's nothing that we can do to hide that. Even if you don't believe in it, or you do believe, or Jesus is coming soon, and we have to get our life together. We have to examine ourselves, examine our lives, our souls, our minds, our hearts, where we stand with the Lord, and realize that everything else in this world will pass. The Bible says everything will pass but my word. His word will forever stand. And we have to go to that for guidance. And it's not to scare anyone, like I said. It is to motivate you. It is to push you. It is for you to realize that life is a beautiful thing. And when we no longer have life, when we're not here in this earth, is the time where we realize that the reality kicks in. Like, where are we going? Like, where will you spend the rest of your life? You know what I mean? If Jesus came this very moment, like, where would you go? Have you thought about that? Have just take a moment just for yourself if you're watching this video, and just think, if Jesus was to come today, where would I be? Would I have done something different? Would I do something different? Is there anything I regret? By the way, I just want to say thank you so much for those that have reached out to me about just prayer. I love when I get an email that says, can you please pray for me for this and that, or I'm having this issue. That just makes me feel so good because it gives me something to fight and pray for. Not just about myself, not just for my own family, but for my viewer family. So thank you so much for trusting me with telling me your, your business, your troubles, your worries, and trusting that I will pray for you, and I have. And I hope that the Lord responds to your prayer or to your request sooner than later. And just remember that he's never too late. He's always on time. His timing is perfect. And he knows why he does the things that he does. So keep on praying and keep on believing and keep that faith nice and strong. I hope to do a video soon with someone else. I will be posting that probably today or tomorrow. I hope it really helps you guys, and I hope it's a little more fun and interesting. So keep on the lookout for that. So that's kind of, I think, all I have to say. Just want to say I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching and keeping tuned into another video. I hope this was a blessing to your life. I hope you think about what I said. And bye. God bless. By the way, I'm sorry I keep looking up because I'm looking out the window and there's like a huge mountain, and there are like 3 little girls rolling down the hill, and I'm just thinking one of them is gonna hit my window, like just roll down all the way to my window. Anyways, no problems.